Content presented in Cheshire Corners is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a legal professional if you have any questions or concerns about the content of this disclaimer, this series, or the legal implications surrounding psychedelic substances in your jurisdiction.
Welcome to Cheshire Corners. My name is Rita, Tsalyuk, and let's trip together through the looking glass.
There's something very touching for me about seeing that you saw Carrie in your experience, and that it wasn't sad for you, right? And this is someone whose urn is on your altar.
Integration is the process of taking these insights and perspectives that we have in expanded states and incorporating them back into our day-to-day lives, day-to-day practice and consciousness.
But the staying power of these transformations greatly depends on their integration, not just by the individuals, but also by their community. We are social animals. We need community to reflect and acknowledge our transformations. Otherwise, they vanish.
It's no exaggeration to say that every aspect of society would be fundamentally transformed if it was born from a worldview that integrated the insights from mystical experience. In our own lives, integration of mystical experience entails aligning our lives and our livelihoods with the truths that we find inside. Mystical experiences are a gateway into seeing the potential for us to live our dharma, live our calling in a wildly expanded way to be in service of life.
What has your emotional relationship historically been like around Carrie, around her life and around her death? How has that felt before this experience?
I would say heavy, like it's a sorrow, that grief it still holds. And that's why it was so beautiful almost to just see her. And in my mind, I knew she was old. I think I even said something like she's moving pretty good, I don't know, but it was so light and free, like when she was here versus the grief that I carry without her being here.
When that heaviness and that grief came in, what do you think was lost?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it was the relief of seeing her and seeing her well versus in the present, all I have is the memory. And, the last 10 years or so, just as we age and our body does not appreciate it, that's kind of where my mind, I think, stayed. So to see her not in pain and moving freely, there was relief and joy maybe in that I don't necessarily think of when I think of her randomly.
Yeah. And when you think of her randomly, what has the typical image or feeling been? You said grief and heaviness, but
more, yeah, and just more, the visual is just more of her, last couple of years and just being tired and slower and, maybe in pain. It wasn't the lighter version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems like a gift that you got to revisit the lighter Carrie.
Yes, absolutely.
Might that change anything for you moving forward to have had that?
I hope so. And now talking about it, it's a little heavy, but it's not weighing down too much. But I'm going to purposely revisit that image, and instead of maybe one that is heavier and more sorrow ridden, and stick more to that visual of joy and lightness.
Jade, I'm curious about the heaviness that you're able to touch right now. Is it okay if we explore that together? Okay. So I'm going to invite you to, however you're sitting, make it even more comfortable.
Okay.
And if you want to even lay down, you can.
I'm okay.
And you can soften your gaze or close your eyes, whatever feels safer and more introspective for you. You don't need to look at me. I'm not going to be too interesting here. And just take a few deep breaths and arrive. I know we've been talking a lot, doing a lot of head activities. So let's bring it back down to the body. As you think of your great aunt Carrie, I heard you say that you felt some heaviness. Do you feel that now as you think of her?
Just a little, kind of right here, a little squeeze in the throat and pressure on the eyes.
Yeah. So go ahead and put your hand back where you're feeling that heaviness, the upper chest, the throat, that pressure behind the eyes. And I know that it may not be the most pleasant sensation. And I'm going to ask you to stay here if it feels safe to do so. If at any point you feel you're done, you want to tap out, you just open your eyes and say, I'm done. Okay? And just feeling that heaviness, giving it an audience, giving it a witness. Just being curious about the heaviness. Jade, does the heaviness have a color?
No, mostly a pressure.
A pressure.
Yeah,
Does it have a texture or temperature?
it's hot.
It's hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a hot pressure.
Yeah.
Does it have a sound?
I don't think so, but if it did, it would be muffled.
Muffled. Okay.
I feel like it would be like, yeah.
Okay. So if any, it would be muffled. And just so staying with this hot pressure in the chest and the throat, behind the eyes. When were you first aware of this sensation in your body, in your life? When did it first appear?
I would say probably that I can recall 5 or 6.
Oh, wow.
And I've always been a really sensitive person. And sometimes expression wasn't always available. And I think trying to hold it back, that's the pressure and the weight. Is it not stifling, but it's definitely pressing.
Yes, it's pressing. Okay. So this hot pressing, which may or may not have a sound, but if it has a sound, it's definitely muffled. It's been with you for a long time, since age 5 or 6. And at that time in your life, Jade, when you were 5 or 6, when you first noticed this hot pressure, what were you learning about yourself or others or the world, do you think?
I know I was starting kindergarten, and I left kind of the safety of my home and that kind of like a bubble of love, and had an intro into kind of a harsher world where feelings weren't necessarily accepted or okay, or at least big feelings from a little person. And also at that time, I was separated from Carrie.
Wow. Okay. So this sweet little person with big feelings left this yummy bubble of love, separated from Carrie, and came into this harsher environment, kindergarten. What do you think? What was the lesson like? Is it I need to be tough, or I need to be quiet, or I'm not safe? Like, what if we could kind of make it a tweetable? What do you think? What do you think the lesson you might have picked up at that time was?
All the above. Be quiet. Don't be weird. Don't cry. Try to fit in, but that's harder than it sounds.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I didn't become a ketamine therapist by fitting in. I know. So Jade, if let's say you're 5 or you're 6, let's make this really menacing. Jade, be quiet and don't be weird. Try to fit in, or else what?
I think I would be ostracized by my peers, and that felt really scary, especially, being excited for kindergarten and having friends. And I was the only child, so that was a big deal for me to be accepted.
Yeah. And so if you were ostracized, what would that say about you?
There I am, weird again. No one likes me. I have no friends. And I have to come back and do this again tomorrow.
So here I am, weird again. No one likes me.
Yep.
Jade, can you feel the pressure now as we're talking?
When you used your stern voice, I did. Very much so.
Don't be weird, Jade. Don't cry.
Yes.
Like that.
And that just makes me want to cry.
What permission can you give yourself to cry? Can you give yourself permission to cry right now?
I can.
So this has been with you for a long time, Jade. Age 5 or 6, you're away from Carrie. Be quiet. Don't be weird. Here you are, weird again. Nobody likes you. That space. Yeah. And so this sensation of hot pressure in your chest, you said it had a muffled sound, if any. Mm-hmm. Can you do an imitation of what that sound, or impersonation of what that sound might sound like?
Definitely. And I don't think I knew when I told you, but it would definitely be like a muffled cry, or even like an anguish, like, just something in there that can't come out.
Can you make that sound again a few times? Yeah, like a cry that isn't allowed to come out.
Yeah.
What would it take for that cry to have permission to come out?
Safety.
Yeah.
I would love to have Carrie's arms.
Jade, can we create that safety for you now? Is there a way that we can bring Carrie in?
I would love to.
Is there any way that you would like to bring her in? Like you can get the urn, or something that she gave you, or even just imagine her?
I have the urn right here, but I had the urn in a picture, but I feel like imagining her in, like she used to wear kulak sets that were cool in the 80s, and just like very fashionable, maybe she loved yellow, so visualizing yellow and that warmth in her wrinkly arms. I used to always say, your arms are wrinkly, and she would tell me, yeah. She's like, you hope yours get wrinkly one day too.
And Jade, I am aware that you're on camera. If safety means turning away from the camera, don't worry about my feelings. This is your space. And the ketamine has also made your brain more plastic, meaning it can learn and unlearn in ways it couldn't before. So this is really a valuable opportunity to let that muffled cry not be muffled, to let it have voice. And so imagining Carrie and the safety she represents, she's here with her lovely wrinkly arms in her yellow 80s kulak set. Yeah. She's here and you're safe.
Let me grab a pillow.
Yeah.
I did not intend to cry nor moan. How dare you?
Little did you know, it's what we came here to do.
Right? Oh man. And I thought, what are we going to talk about? Like, I mean, just the fractals? But okay.
Jade, I heard you say this has been with you since age 5 or 6. And how many years young are you now?
I am 45.
You're 45. You've been walking around with this for 40 years.
Yes.
Are you ready to let it out?
I am. I want to. And I've spent so many years perfecting, I guess, a hardened persona that it is hard to not only sit in it, but to express it.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, you've been pressurizing it for 40 years.
Right.
Yeah. Hence the muffled.
Yes.
Yeah. You left Carrie's warm embrace when the world was harsh. But Carrie just came and visited you, didn't she? Yeah, I heard you say that it was really heart-opening to see Carrie. But then when I asked about the pressure, you put your hand right over your heart. Yeah. So Jade, I'm not a jerk, but I'm gonna play one for a minute. Because there's something here ready to come. Yeah.
Yes.
So Jade, big feelings from a little person. I don't know. There you are being weird again. Don't cry, Jade. Just try to fit in. Yeah, because, you don't want to be stuck being weird again, Jade.
And I would love to be angry, but it's just not anger.
It's okay. It is what it is. It's what it is. There it is. There you go. Carrie's here. You're safe. You can let it go now. Is the pillow muffling your expression?
I think it's that safety, I don't
Okay.
ever want to be too loud or too big, so let me hide behind it.
Because if you were loud, you'd be weird again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's safe to be loud here.
I think I've become too quick to regulate. I really do. I feel like I get there and I can feel it and I can let a little steam off, but I'm just quick to get back to that easier feel, that even keel.
Using the tools like a good therapist, right?
Yes. They work.
We are the trickiest clients, aren't we? So Jade, come back to where that pressure was or still is. Yeah?
I would say it's more in the throat now.
It's more in the throat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And are we still hot, pressure, and muffled cry, or do we have new sensations here?
I would say tight.
Tight. Okay.
Is more appropriate than pressure.
Uh-huh. Any color or texture?
Maybe like white. And I think like tight knuckles, white knuckles, kind of feel.
Yeah.
And texture. Sharp.
Oof. Okay, brutal. White knuckles, tight white knuckles, sharp in the throat. How long has that been around? What age?
I'm not sure about that one. I thought they were kind of lumped together.
Okay.
But
yeah, they might be.
I'm not sure if it's as early or if maybe it started later, because I feel like that's more like angry.
Angry. Yeah. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I remember you said, I feel like I should be angry, but I'm not. But here there's some anger. Yeah. So
And as soon as I said it, that's when I started to be like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel angry.
Yeah. Can you say that like you mean it?
You can be angry.
You can be angry. Yeah.
Yes. I can be angry.
Jade can be angry. You can be angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you've got these tight white knuckles around your throat. And what do you think the tight white knuckles are having to say about things, about you or the world?
I think it's that repressed emotion and the anger is that I can't be who I am.
Okay.
Because that is a soft, emotional person, but I can't do that. I have to cut it off, squeeze it out. And that's making me angry. I'm allowing myself to be angry right now because I shouldn't have had to not be who I was. I should have been able to be weird. I wanted to be weird.
Yeah. So these tight white knuckles around your throat, these sharp white knuckles are saying, Jade, cut it off. Repress that emotion. Hold that emotion in. Hold that emotion in, you weirdo. Something like that?
Mm-hmm.
What's the meanest thing that they could say? Did I just say it, or does it get even meaner?
I would say the only thing meaner would be like, they don't like you.
They don't like you.
They don't like, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Wow. So literally tightening around your throat. They don't like you. What's it going to take to overcome that?
I think this is a step in admitting that the anger has a place. And just, I feel like I've overcome it in ways by being weird, as I had an angsty, weird teenage phase that I don't think I ever grew out of. And that was me bucking the system and being weird and not caring if people like me. And I think that's kind of where I feel like I can prevail. Like, I will show them I'm weird. And weird is why I'm here with you today, for being weird, You're
right? Okay. And there's a part of you that lets these white knuckles keep choking you.
Yeah. Yep.
And I've heard you say that you're angry about that, but you don't sound very angry to me. What do you want to do to those tight white knuckles around your throat?
I would like to pry them off with force, pulling each one back, each finger back. And then I think I would just like to yell, I am weird. And it's, that's it. I'm not even going to say, and it's okay, or just a little bit, or not soften it, but just, I am weird.
Okay. Jade, can we create a space for you to do that right now? Maybe grab some scarves or blanket to put around your neck.
Got my pillow.
You got your pillow, but can we wrap something around your neck without choking yourself?
Right. See, I got a blanket.
Great. Yeah. If you're wearing earrings, you might want to take those out just so you don't, I don't want you to accidentally rip your ears if you get an earring caught in there. Yeah.
Thank you. I just realized I didn't have my glasses on. I'm like, I can't see.
Well, it's okay. We're looking inwards.
Right? And I didn't even notice I didn't have them, so that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Does that feel like the pressure?
Yes.
Okay. And then what kind of support would you like from Carrie before you do this? Where should we put Carrie in this scene?
I think just admiring who I am and what I've become. And she would always tell me, who cares if they like you? So just letting her see that I don't care.
Okay. All right. So Carrie's here. Is she wearing a yellow 80s kulak set?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. So Carrie's here in her 80s set. So go ahead and let those white knuckles know a thing or two, Jade. It's time to put them in their place. They've been there for a while, so it might take a little work, but you can do it.
I don't care if you like me, because I like myself. And I am weird, and I am happy that I am not like everybody else. And no matter how much I try, I can't be, and I'm glad that I wasn't. And I don't want to have to hold back anymore.
What do you want those white knuckles to do? Tell them where they should go or do.
I want them to go plague someone else.
Okay, tell them that. Talk to them.
Go dig a hole. Plant a tree. Yes, plant a tree. Go do some good with the strength that you have held me for 40 years. Go save a village. Do something, but I don't need you anymore.
Anything else that they need to hear or that you need to tell them?
I'm going to keep being weird. Maybe even weirder now, okay? I'm going to take it up a notch.
Nice. What do you want to do with that towel now?
I'm going to throw it.
See you, bye.
And my cat can have it. Yes.
Jade, coming back to your throat now.
Yeah.
Take a couple breaths. Check in with that part of your body. How's it feeling now?
I feel free in a way, in many ways. I would say not just from the grip, but my tears have been freeing, because that's something I hide. I don't cry. So I feel looser. I feel open. And the pressure has lifted, maybe literally crying it out, removed that grip.
Well, you've cleared some space out, for sure. And so breathe into your throat and into your upper chest again. Jade, the places where that hot pressure used to hold you down, the places where the white knuckles were sharply pressed into your throat. What kind of healing or supportive energy do you want to bring into these spaces now? Now you've got some room in there.
I would like to bring in a warm light, bright, but not the white bright, but warm, bright light, like a hazy sunset or something, just a glow.
Go ahead and do that now, Jade. Go ahead and breathe in that warm light, that glow, that hazy sunset. Really fill up the space. Yeah, that's what gets to live here now. Yeah? Let it unpack its bags. And then we call it in. And as you're breathing in that warm glow, is there any kind of a message that it's carrying?
I think it's and I'm not sure if it's happiness or joy, but it's bringing in just a commitment to a lighter feeling, a lighter being.
Mm-hmm. Lighter feeling.
And that same light, that same, just that image, like with Carrie being well and being light.
Is there, it's okay if there isn't, but is there any kind of an I am, maybe, statement that comes with that hazy sunset?
I am content and well. I think well, warm and well.
Mm-hmm. So breathe that in. I'm content, warm, and well. Whatever version of that works better for you.
All of them.
I am content, warm, and well. Really anchor that, Jade. And so you can keep your eyes closed. Just keep breathing in. I'm content, warm, and well. Picturing that warm glow. And, those old gremlins might come visit again. And so when you encounter Jade, be quiet, don't be weird. Coming back to this. That warm glow in your chest and the throat, reminding the gremlins, actually, you don't live here anymore. and I'm content, warm, and well. Is there anything else that this warm, hazy glow wants to share or let us know today?
I think that we're okay. Weird
okay.
and all. Yeah. Tears shed in front of people.
Uh-huh.
We're still okay. We're still well. Yep.
Weird and all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so just in case you need to hear it from another person, everything you just said and did over this last hour or so we've been talking, completely okay. More than okay. It's been wonderful. And it's been important.
I thank you for guiding and poking when needed.
I poke with love.
Yes, most definitely. It was the softest, sweetest poke, but it worked.
Yeah. And, you know, you had some really beautiful content during your journey, Jade, and the medicine is still working on you in terms of your brain and your nervous system's ability to loosen the grip of some old patterns. And thank you for showing up with the trust that you did to do some of that healing work.
Thank you.
It was really cool to witness.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have any questions?
I don't. I just thank you for your guidance. I was so worried. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Like, it wasn't that, I mean, I didn't feel like it was that monumental at the time. Just the mindfulness was wonderful, but to have someone guide and kind of pick it, not apart, but just point out and to hold me in places that I would normally just touch and go. I think is so important. And now I can see why integration is useful and so key to it.
Yeah, I'm actually, right as you said that, I'm just looking at some of the little notes I've been taking, is this phrase that you said, letting it in, letting it be, and letting it go. And before we can let it go, we have to let it in. Right?
Right.
Yeah. When we
and
touch
not
it,
not just let it, acknowledge it, but really, maybe shake its hand and then send it on its way. And I had been ignoring, just letting it in. I see you there, anxiety. I see you, sadness. Bye.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite cutting it.
Yeah. We didn't let it in yet.
Right.
Yeah. So, and just kind of, and now I'm kind of switching because I know you're a therapist too. Often the session doesn't always start awkward, but it's okay if it does. I mean, especially since you and I had never spoken before this call. But the first little bit is kind of like the walking around and getting the lay of the land and kicking a couple tires. And then you kind of see I think that's my door in. Mm-hmm. So thanks for sticking with it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is where, if this was a session, I would tell you beautiful work and reach out as you need me.